Welcome, foolish mortals. All right, so yesterday I went to a trade screening of Disney's The Haunted Mansion. And I was the only one in the theater because everybody else was watching Oppenheimer. And I should have done this review yesterday because I pretty much forgot big chunks of this movie. But it is exponentially better than the Eddie Murphy 2003 one. And I should just end the review right there. So, The Haunted Mansion in LA and in Florida, my favorite attraction of anything ever. I love it. And this is the third movie because they also had a Muppet movie. And I really don't remember anything about the 2003 version other than Eddie Murphy, Jennifer Tilly as Madame Leota, and the inconceivable guy from Princess Bride in the other one. This is sort of Disney's version of 1408 almost, is what it feels like. You've got Tiffany Haddish, you've got Danny DeVito, you've got Owen Wilson, you've got Rosario Dawson, Jared Leto kinda is in the movie as the Hatbox Ghost. It's not bad. It's fine. I love the look of the ghosts. The one thing that I liked about the 2016 Ghostbusters, there wasn't much, was the look of the ghosts. They reminded me of the Haunted Mansion, and they continued that into this movie. The look of the mansion is great. The look of the ghosts is great. All the ghosts from the ride are in there. The hitchhiking ghosts and the caretaker ghost and the mummy and the Viking hat lady and the dueling ghosts and all. So all that's in there, and you got the doom buggies are in there, and Constance Hatchaway and Gracie, the one who built the manor. All that stuff is in there. For fans of the Haunted Mansion. But the movie doesn't do anything I haven't seen already. And it's not, like I said, it's not bad. It's fine. But it's the kind of movie that you forget about in less than 48 hours. It revolves around, Jamie Lee Curtis is in it too. She's Madame Leota in this one. Academy Award winning actress Jamie Lee Curtis. Put some fucking respect on that name. And she thanked genre film fans, which is awesome. This movie started its life in 2010 with Guillermo del Toro and Ryan Gosling, and they were going to do a whole one about the Hatbox Ghost. For anyone who doesn't know, the Hatbox Ghost was in 1969 when the Haunted Mansion opened, was a part of it where his head would disappear and appear in his hat box, but they couldn't get it to work properly, so they took it out of the ride, and it just became part of the lore. Jared Leto plays the character. He's the bad guy of the piece, but you only see him in paintings, and when he is talking, there's so many effects on his voice that why even bother? Sort of like they did with Hugo Weaving in the Transformers movie, and it's just why? You can't even tell it's him, So I don't know. He was evil and he killed his dad his dad died. He took over everything and he just was a bad dude. And he's using all of the ghosts. He's keeping control, keeping all the ghosts that are in the Haunted Mansion under his control because Gracie's wife committed suicide, and he tried to contact her by bringing in Madame Leota. And every time she did a ritual, it would bring in a ghost, but it was never the right ghost. So all the ghosts are just there and they're hanging out. And it's in New Orleans too, so they very much treat death like. Not something to be sad about, but something to celebrate life and all that. So I do like that setting and the look of everything. And Jamie Lee Curtis as Madame Leota is great. Rosario Dawson and her son move into this house that's super haunted. So they need Tiffany Haddish, who's a medium, not a large. Danny DeVito, who's a historian. Owen Wilson, who's a priest, kinda. And this guy who lost his wife a year ago, who's an astrophysicist who created this camera which can see the unseen. So it's basically we take pictures of ghosts, and they're all brought together to exorcise this house to help Rosario Dawson and her son because her husband died and they're starting all over again. And the astrophysicist guy's wife died, and everybody's got problems. And the ghosts aren't. Not all the ghosts are bad. There are some bad ones, but they're under the direction of the Hatbox Ghost. And again, it's just nothing I haven't already seen before. It's definitely some funny lines in it. Some fun stuff is in it. But like, it has, like I said, elements of 1408, elements of Casper. It doesn't do anything new and fresh that I feel like could really be a hit, Because like when they made the 2003 version, it was coming off of the success of Johnny Depp's Pirates of the Caribbean. They had this mega hit on their hands, and Disney was like, oh, well, people just want movies based on rides, not understanding what made the Pirates of the Caribbean work. So they gave us the Haunted Mansion, which was this, like, in the dark days of Eddie Murphy, where you had, like, the Adventures of Pluto Nash and Daddy Daycare and was it 1,000 words, 10,000 words or whatever, like a lot of garbage, and this was like this zany comedy. And then they did the Country Bears. If you've never seen the Country Bears before, it's not good, but fuck, Christopher Walken is in a completely different movie than everyone else in every scene with him, and I appreciate it. He went full Walken. Yeah, so they tried again with this one. I would have loved to have seen the Guillermo del Toro version because I feel like he would have brought something that wouldn't have just been a cash-in of an IP, so the ride. But then again, they did the same thing with Pirates of the Caribbean. They added Johnny Depp and Bill Nighy to the ride, and then they wound up getting rid of all of it. But, it's like, no, just make it its own thing. There's something special about these rides that have been here forever and build off of that mythology. Because, all the Disney, if you ever watch, like, Offhand Disney, he has these videos about, like, the interconnected storylines in Disney, which is really, really cool and interesting. Yeah, I don't know, man. I went in really wanting to like it. I didn't dislike it, but I also just it just washed over me as soon as it was done, and I was sitting down to shoot this, and I was like, okay, what parts? Okay, I like that, but wait, no, how did that get there? Like, and it's not a hard movie to follow or anything like that, and it's shot beautifully and it's scored well and all that. It's nothing I haven't already seen before, and it's kind of a bummer because I have the hitchhiking ghost floor mat or doormat at my apartment, and I get excited whenever I go to Disney, which isn't very often. Last time I was there, it was in November for the American Film Market, and they had rethemed the Haunted Mansion to be Nightmare Before Christmas, and I was like, oh, don't do that, but it was actually really fucking cool, so I really dug it. I don't know. I should have just ended this review with, it's better than the 2003 version. Jamie Lee Curtis, Madame Leota is having a fun time. Tiffany Haddish has the best lines. Owen Wilson's just kind of there. And Rosario Dawson just kind of gets a thankless job. She's just the mom in it. And I feel like she was wasted. I feel like they wasted a lot of opportunities to do a bit more with this cool house and all of the things you can do. Because you have like these ghosts, like a Mariner ghost and all this stuff. You could play with that a little bit more and do almost like the movie Waxworks, where like each different room could be its own thing, and it maybe they're in the desert now or whatever, it's like Beetlejuice, something like that too, where they go into the sandworms. I just feel like they did a lot of stuff that we've seen before, but they didn't take it any further, and that's a bummer, man. But yeah, and again, I don't understand why Jared Leto is in this movie, but he got a paycheck, so he's just gonna keep on morbid time. Yeah, that's it. It was cool to see, the bride and all the characters that I know from the rides. It was cool to see the house looking neat. The setting was cool, but again, it didn't do anything that I haven't already seen before. So I would say this would be one that I would wait for on streaming. Yeah, go see Barbie again. I want to see Oppenheimer. I haven't seen it yet. So that's it. I will chat with you guys on Wednesday.